Welcome back to the Wine Podcast for everyone. In this episode, we're going to discuss sparkling wine, how to get the most bang for your buck, how to safely uncork it, and serving ideas. I'm going to share a sparkling wine from Canada, and Chuck puts two cheap classic Italian sparkling wines to the test. So Chuck, I understand you have two sparkling wines from Italy to share with everybody today.
I picked two classic, cheap Italian bubblies that a lot of people know and love. I'm going to put them head to head.
I'm looking forward to it.
For when only the best will do, for peak moments of maximum celebration, break out the Bambino. This is a sweet, cheap, golden pear, golden apple sparkling wine. Instead of buying this as one big bottle of sparkling, I bought a 4-pack of 375 milliliter bottles. It was the right move because turns out you don't want a lot of this stuff in one shot. It's great for a toast, a flute worth, perfect. If you pour yourself a big glass, it's going to get a little cloyingly sweet kind of fast. This is not your big promotion sparkling wine celebration. This is not your Christmas dinner sparkling wine. Maybe a bag of chips or popcorn on a weeknight movie or a weekend movie. That's fine, sure.
I always think of the gathered around in the company cafeteria, awkwardly sipping a plastic cup of some kind of sparkling wine that's terribly sweet, celebrating something happening to somebody at work.
Do I plan on using the remaining 3 small bottles to celebrate some smaller day-to-day accomplishments? Yeah.
Like getting up in the morning.
Putting away my laundry.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. The first thing I said when I tried this sparkling was, this tastes like a sweet perry, which is a pear cider. So after I picked up this Spumante Bambino, I also noticed right beside it, they had the Martini and Rossi Asti Spumante. Little pricier. We're only talking $5 more.
You're going with the classics.
You're not a baller yet. You took a step up, though. You brought it up one notch. One single notch.
And what did you find in the Asti for that extra couple of bucks?
So you get a little more flavor in the Asti. You get some peach, some mandarin orange, and a little floral. Whereas the Spumante Bambino, you're really getting pear, golden apple. That's it. There's nothing else to the Bambino. The Asti definitely has a recognizable Moscato flavor to it. In summary, if you're going to go for one, try the Asti. Spumante Bambino, $9.95, 2 out of 5 stars. Martini and Rossi Asti Spumante, $14.45, 3 out of 5 stars.
Hey, Chuck.
Hey.
I got a confession to make.
Go ahead.
I don't like champagne.
Everyone does.
I don't like it. It's
not even to celebrate?
Nope. It's so dry, and it's yeasty and crackery and biscuit is how they describe champagnes. And I find they're really too subtle and sort of austere. They just seem like they're holding back. And they're expensive. They're so expensive. And it's so much of it is just the brand.
You mean champagne?
Champagne, yes. Not to be confused with sparkling wine. Because
right.
Champagne is sparkling wine, but not all sparkling wine is champagne.
That's right. Yeah. Beer has something like that too, where not all lagers are pilsners, but all pilsners are lagers.
I did not know that. I learned something new. As we're recording this episode around the holidays, we wanted to focus on sparkling wine. Now, usually everybody thinks of champagne when it comes to the holidays and celebrations, but there's a whole wide world of sparkling wine.
I've had a lot of sparkling wine. I've never had champagne. I think a lot of people fall into that category as well.
Yeah, and when I've seen people taste champagne, maybe for the first, second, or third time, I watch their face really carefully. And they're not enjoying it, but it's very clear to me that they're confounded by what they're tasting.
It's a lot drier and sharper than they think.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not what they're used to.
Yeah. And most of the champagne you'll see on the shelf, and even Prosecco, will be labeled Brut, B-R-U-T, and that just means dry, no sugar added. So most of champagnes are Brut style.
Today we went the exact opposite of champagne. We went cheap and sweet.
Sparkling wines have huge price variations. Champagne is, of course, at the high end, but beneath it, there's all sorts of options. And we're going to focus on, let's talk about Prosecco, because I think that's the most popular alternative to champagne.
Overall, Prosecco, probably your best bang for the buck.
Yeah. Proseccos, they come in different prices, but we see them in the $14 to $19 range for a 750 ml bottle. They're from Italy. Prosecco is the name of the grape that it's made from. And I've always had good luck with them.
Are they all dry usually, or do they range in sweetness levels?
They can range. Yeah, they can range. They're usually brut, so dry. They use the same term as champagne, but you can get some very sweet ones.
Yeah, I like a nice off-dry one. Not terribly dry, but I want a little sweetness. I don't want a syrupy, cloyingly sweet sparkling wine, but I do want some sweetness in there.
Yeah, when it comes to sparkling wine, I too would like a little sweetness. Typically, I drink wines on the drier side, but when it comes to the sparkling wines, I like something with a little bit of sweetness. It just helps with the bubbles and the balance, and it just makes it a nicer experience.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way.
So Proseccos tend to be fruitier. They are lighter on the bubbles. They tend to be a little bit drier. Maybe the next most popular group of sparkling wine that you're going to encounter is Cava, C-A-V-A. And that is sparkling wine made in Spain specifically. And they're more citrusy with maybe pear notes, and the bubbles are a little more aggressive than Prosecco. And usually you'll see those in the $12 to $18 range. It tends to be a little less expensive. So, again, that's going to be more citrusy and pear, and Prosecco is going to be sort of fruitier and a little bit sweeter. Those are two great options to champagne. Now, again, they're sparkling wine. They're all sparkling wines. That's just what they call them, or predominantly call them, Prosecco in Italy because of the grape, and Cava from Spain. And actually, that means cave in English, where they store the bottles.
How many people do you think die a year from corks?
From corks?
Yeah. Coming out of bottles, like firing out of the bottles.
I know it's not none.
It's not none.
No, and I know the injuries are in the hundreds or thousands in one study.
Injuries for sure. I mean fatalities.
8?
About 24 a year.
Sorry, that's not that funny. I shouldn't have laughed.
It's not funny, but it's also not surprising, right? In a way.
In a way, because if you see people in TV or the movies shaking a bottle and then opening that bottle, that cork is coming out at over 50 miles per hour.
Highway speed.
Yeah. Danger.
Well, why
danger.
do they do it in the music videos?
Because it looks cool, I guess.
Looks awesome, man. You got to do it. But why wouldn't you do it? It flies out at highway speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you get? You're going to get sparkling wine all over your house.
What you get is some great video footage, though, because I've seen people wreck their flat screen TV.
Yeah.
Cork shoots into the flat screen. Thing's gone.
Yeah. What about a pet? You could take out a pet easily.
You take out a dog, sure.
Small dog. Yeah. Well, a human, so maybe a big dog.
Take your eye out, just like that Christmas movie.
I did see a study of eye injuries, and it was thousands.
Sure. You got to keep your thumb on that cork as soon as that wine cage comes off.
Yeah. Let's break that down.
Yeah, you use the towel method as well, which is very pro. I don't think a lot of people do that.
What we're talking about, let's unpack opening a bottle of sparkling wine safely. Now that's actually the key. I mean, we're joking about injuries, but you can hurt yourself doing this. Most sparkling wines will have a foil cover, much like most wines. You're going to remove the foil cover, and over the cork is going to be a cage, and it's made of usually a wire, and it has a small piece of metal on top. You'll see where they've twisted it shut, and you will untwist that. Now, the moment that this cage is off, consider it like live ammo.
It's a loaded gun.
You're going to put your thumb over the cork, and you're not going to take your thumb off until you are going to uncork it. So have a towel handy, have your glasses. If this is not the time you're running around looking for stuff, like keep your thumb on the cork. I use a towel, like Chuck said. You don't necessarily have to. I find it easiest. I use just a clean kitchen towel. I take the bottle and aim it away from me and anybody just away from
Anything that you don't want damaged.
Yeah, anything you like, don't aim it at. I take I'm right-handed, so I take the towel in my left hand, hold the cork, and I twist the body of the bottle with my right hand. So my left hand has the towel over the cork. Still, I do not move that hand, and I twist and twist and twist the bottle until the cork just eases out. You don't want the big pop. That is taking bubbles out of the wine. I know it sounds nice, it's celebratory, but if you're trying to enjoy it, don't do that. If you're feeling fancy in France, of course, there is another way to open a bottle of champagne or sparkling wine, and that's called sabering. Have you seen this, Chuck?
I would never do this, but go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah, this is, I've never done this. And I think this summer, I think what we should do is we'll find the cheapest sparkling wine we can find.
I got you.
And I think we should get our hands on a saber and try this. So sabering, are you down? You want to do this?
I don't have a saber on me.
Maybe if you haven't seen this, I'm going to do my best to describe it. Podcasts aren't great for visual mediums, but so a saber, a sword, it's a type of sword, and you kind of hold the bottle in one hand by the bottom, and then you very quickly and aggressively run the saber on the flat side of the sword up the side of the bottle, and you kind of knock the neck off. You know, the top of a champagne or a sparkling wine bottle, there's a little lip.
Yep.
Yeah, you hit that with the blade as the side of the blade runs along the bottle, and it just knocks the top off.
But you're also not taking just the cork off this bottle. You're taking the whole neck of the bottle off.
You can. I've seen it where a lot of the neck comes off. Now, I don't like glass in my wine. Maybe you feel differently and you enjoy a little bit.
That's why I wouldn't do it. Why would I want to get some glass shards in my bottle?
The thing's crazy. It's crazy, but it looks cool. I want to try it. We're going to try it.
We'll try it, sure. I don't know if I'll drink it, but I mean, I'll launch a few bottles open.
Most of the videos I've seen, it's violent. There's a lot of wine comes out of the bottle because you've just hit the bottle of carbonated.
You shook it.
You effectively shook it, yeah. And it comes spraying out, and there's glass flying. I don't know. To each their own.
Waste.
Yeah, you're wasting perfectly good champagne.
Shame.
I know. I said I don't like champagne, but I'll try it. Chuck, one thing that bothers me is that we seem to only reach for the sparkling wine, the champers, on special occasions, like once a year. New Year's Eve comes to mind. Is it a special occasion drink in your house?
It is. And every time I drink it for a special occasion, I think to myself, why do I only drink this on special occasions?
Because it's good, right?
It is good, and I like it. And it's a type of wine that kind of gets pigeonholed for only cheersing and celebrations, but it's good. I like it. I should drink it more. It can be had before a meal as an aperitif. It's great. Even just before a meal with friends come over, you open that, everyone gets a little glass. Great way to open up the evening.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know those, I mean, it's cliche, but you know those little hors d'oeuvre puff pastry deals, right? They have little quiches, some sparkling wine with that stuff before dinner. Oh, so good. So good. It's also great with salty foods. You and I were trying this. Well, we tried this years ago, and we did it a few nights ago. We got some potato chips, plain salted, and so you had popcorn
and some popcorn lightly salted as well,
with
not too much butter.
Not too much butter, with some sparkling wine. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great snack.
Yeah,
classy snack too.
Classy.
Jeez. What are you sipping on? What are you snacking on over there? Some prosecco and popcorn. Class.
He's classy. This guy is a class act. Stick with him. I really I like that combination. So if you're looking for a great champagne alternative, sticking around the $15-16 mark, look for Prosecco from Italy, Cava from Spain, or really any sparkling wine that's not marked champagne in that price range. It's made all over the world. It's great. It's great for any day of the week. Great with appetizers, not just for celebrations.
Around the release of this podcast episode, we'll be featuring several sparkling wines on the nosnobwine.com website. So, Sean, you've been sipping on that bodacious sparkling now. What do you think of it?
I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised at what's happening here.
Because of the goofy name?
Yeah, because of the goofy name. No, this bodacious bubbles. I'm getting peach and kiwi and kind of tropical fruit. I mean, if we were in Champagne land, those are words you would never utter. So this is actually quite enjoyable. It is sweet, but not overwhelmingly. It's got a nice mouthfeel. its bubbles are really fine, so you don't feel gassy or bloated when you're drinking this one. It's surprisingly tasty, and yeah, I think this is a great bottle, especially given the price. If you've got a mixed group and you don't really, there's probably people in there that have never had sparkling wine or champagne or Prosecco. You have a large group of people that you're celebrating something with or not. It's going to be a crowd pleaser.
Would you drink a full glass of that as you would a white wine, let's say? Or would you stick to just a cheers amount in a flute of that? Because I would stick to a cheers amount in a flute of the sparkling wines I got today.
Right. Well, I've been drinking this glass of it through this whole episode, and I'm not unhappy about it. So yeah, I would. I am. Bodacious Bubbles, $12.95. 3 out of 5 stars. And remember, listeners, 3 stars at nosnobwine.com is good wine. So when I was tasting well, that's snobby. So when I was tasting champagne in France,
yeah, there's no more snobby than that.
They called the wine and fussiness.
The celebration with the sparkling episode, the Bambino.
I'm going to share a Prosecco from Italy, and Chuck has right out of my head.
If you don't mind, that'd be a better mix.
This whole episode's ruined already. We haven't even started.
From the top.
Drinking sparkling wine at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Did you shake it up first?
Oh, of course. I want to.
You're the life of the party.
I am.
Yeah.
Do not open shaken wine, sparkling wine bottle.
No fun. You're no fun.
It looks like fun in the movies, but somebody's going to get hurt. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Wine Podcast for Everyone. Be sure to rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts, as it helps other people find us.
Yeah, tell your friends about the podcast. We know they drink wine too.
For more information on any of the wines we discussed, go to nosnobwine.com or check the show notes for links. The Wine Podcast for Everyone is a production of No Snob Media.